December. And then this week for Move Free, in that program, there are 3 little workshops. If you wanted to participate in those as a regular student, there's an opportunity for that as well. Let's get started with our yoga today. So come into child's pose. We got toes together, knees open, arms forward on your forehead, down to your mat. Make it so that your body feels pretty comfortable in this pose. Start observing your own breathing, however it is, it's right, and just check into what's going on with it, and then we'll gradually start to shape it. Our yoga practice is a breathing practice that gives us access to the arising moment. That's not something that we can collect and have a lot of. There's one in every moment, an arising moment, and inside of that, a potential or a possibility. Start to shape your breath into an ujjayi breath. Take a deep breath in. Open up your mouth and sigh and feel the stirring in the back of your throat as you sigh. Let's do that again because I didn't really hear anything. Take a deep breath in. Open up your mouth. Sigh like you're fogging a mirror with a yes, the feeling in your back of the throat that you felt on that exhale. Keep that even on the inhale. So deep breath in. Feel your lungs filling up. And then the exhale. The breath is purposeful. As you become more experienced, it may seem like, well, I can do all this physical stuff and that doesn't matter, but it is the vehicle to accessing the possibility in every right now moment. Right now, it's possible to have a steady rhythmic breath, to hear your neighbors breathing, hear Adam breathing at home, to get connected in a way that you just weren't before. Squeeze each of your fingertips to the mat. Then lift your body up into downward facing dog. Set your hands wide and your feet long behind you and keep your breath flowing. Open up your inner listening for how it is for you right now. What does it seem like in your body and in the practice? How does it seem in your thinking? And that's where you are right now and what there is to work with. In the back of your mat with your toes, inhale and tippy toe, hips lift high. Exhale, bend your knees to hover down at ankle height. You'll feel your toes and feet stretching. Inhale, lift your hips up high, and exhale, press your heels down into the mat. So do that again. Inhale, lift up high on your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees to hover. Then inhale, hips lift high. Exhale, press heels down. One more time, inhale, tippy toe. You can let your head just hang. Exhale, bend your knees to hover. Inhale, lift your hips up high. And exhale, press your heels down into the mat. Now with your next breath, raise your right leg into the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip. Just turn your hips open. Keep on breathing here while you just press your right hand down into the mat and lift up into your right knee. As you stretch this whole side of your body, breathe and bring a little more space between each rib and then put that foot on the floor. Left leg next in the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip, and turn your hips open. Now it's your left hand to really get conscious about anchoring and lift your left knee up. Take a breath, then foot on the floor, look forward. Step up to the front of your mat. Once you get there, lift halfway and then hang down. Now, I would suggest opening your feet a little wider and getting really on purpose with how your feet are as you hang here and sway from side to side. We'll all be working with some softness to the knees. If that's not so in your body, make it so. Let your head hang. And then open up your curiosity for what's possible in this arising moment in this pose. Breathe. You might start to feel some opening in your back, bottom rib area. You might feel some broadening across the back of your pelvis. A little softness to your knees, so you're right on top of your feet. And while your heels press down into the ground, shift your hips more forward. Bring an intensity into the backs of your legs as you hang here and breathe. You'll know it's intense when you know you need to breathe. Listen for your neighbor's breathing. Then press your feet down into the mat. Come rolling up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead. Look up and reach up, and then bring your hands into prayer position and just pause for a second. Let your body get settled, your orientation settle, and pick an intention for the practice today. The practice will happen and the results will be whatever they are, but with an intention, you get to focus the results of the practice. 3 times we chant together, and that helps us to create a clearing and get connected to one another, intensifying as well the results of the practice. So take a deep breath in. Inhale and reach up, stretch up, fold to the floor as you exhale. Now match your movements to your breathing. Inhale, lift up halfway, high plank to low plank as you exhale. Then inhale, lift your chest, upward facing dog. Feel your whole front stretch. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now 3 breaths, and just work it out in your body how it is by bending and straightening and selecting the foundation. Can't really hear you breathing. Take 1 more breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Now inhale, stand up, keep filling your lungs and reach up. Fold to the floor and purposefully empty all the way down. Lift up halfway, high plank to low plank as you exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Really bring in the breathing, because it seems like what we're lacking in the practice right now, and it would give us access to something new if we put it right in. 1 more time, breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees. Look up, jump up to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, stand, lift, reach, go back, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, move to the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Work with your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Here's the last. Inhale, exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Stand up, breathe in, fill your lungs, fold to the floor and empty. Half lift, low plank, shoulders back and look forward. Upward facing dog, breathe. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in, full breath out. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Here's the last. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Stand, breathe, stretch and go backwards. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, move to the low plank. Heels back, head forward. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Not only is it through your breath that you discover the potential in every arising moment, but body part by body part, pose by pose, we bring awareness into all parts of the body. If you have a fingertip, a toe, your center hanging low, use your attention to bring more action to those body parts, and collectively the attention grows. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, bend your knees and jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Last time here. Stand up, lift up, reach. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Half lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Work with the breathing. Maybe sometimes it's a sigh to just start steadying your breath out, but at a more intense pace. Take the last breath in. Exhale, bend your knees and jump forward. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose is next. Sit back, reach your arms up, stay right here and breathe. Bringing breath into movement and getting into deeper movement will take this on. Stretch a little higher on the inhale. Now press the air back and open your shoulders on the exhale. Inhale, reach, stretch your body long, and exhale, sit more deeply. Keep on doing that. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, press the air back, sit. 3 more. Inhale, reach, strong belly, hips back. 2 more, reach, press back. Here's the last one. We'll move. Inhale, reach, and fold to the floor. Halfway lift, move to the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now step your right foot forward for warrior 1. Inhale, reach up, stay right here and breathe. When you inhale, just stretch your arms a little higher. Now, when you exhale, you can press the air back again and lunge more deeply. Inhale, stay in the deep lunge, but lift your belly. Exhale, press back, lunge deeper. Inhale, reach, press and lunge more deeply. Now stay in your low lunge, reach up, hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side step, arms overhead. Reach up, lift up, lunge more deep, chest open, go down low. Inhale, lift up from the pit of your belly. Now lunge more deep, press back, stay low. Inhale, lift, press back, go lower, stay low. Inhale, lift, press back. 2 more here. Reach up, press and open. Last one, reach up, lunge down, hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, open your mouth and empty. 2 more, inhale, exhale. Here's the last, breathe in, bend your knees, look forward, jump up to your hands. Halfway lift, fold down. We'll flow here. Sit, chair pose, reach, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Take the low lunge, lift up, look up. Hands to the floor, steady exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog, left side now, step. Deep lunge, reach. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Up dog, downward facing dog. Breathe in, open up your mouth, sigh. Now soften your knees as you're breathing. Keep your hands where they are and just drag your hips back. 1 more breath. Bend your knees and empty. Move up to your hands. Half lift, forward fold, chair pose, sit, chest open, reach, fold to the floor. Half lift, low plank. Up dog, down dog, right foot forward, lunge, deep low lift, hands down, chaturanga, and empty. Up dog, down dog, left side, step, lunge, lift, hands down, chaturanga, empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now take a moment. Feel how it is in your body. What else do you need? What's starting to open up? What's possible moment to moment? Take a breath in. Get ready to move, look forward. Jump to your hands. Half lift, fold. Now chair pose, sit deep and reach your arms high. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, move to the low plank. Up dog, down dog, right forward lunge. Lift up, look up, reach. Hands down, chaturanga, and empty. Upward facing dog. Take your time, ride on the breath. Downward dog, left side, step. Lift up, stretch, feel your lungs filling. Hands down, chaturanga. Make it feel good in your body. Upward dog, downward facing dog. The practice is a celebration of life, really. The incredible, beautiful thing that your body is. It's so capable. The ability to breathe deeply and move. Let's take one more round. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward and jump. Half lift, forward fold. Chair pose, sit as deep as you ever have and reach. Fold to the floor. Half lift, low plank. Upward dog, downward dog, right foot forward. Take a long stride, lunge until your thigh is parallel to the floor. Hands down, chaturanga. Empty your breath. Take your time. Upward dog, downward dog, left side, step, lunge, lift, hands down, chaturanga, empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now in your downward facing dog, raise your right leg into the air, bend your knee, flip the pose over 2 feet to the floor. All the way over and stretch. Reach up and overhead. Breathe here. Now, if you have the capacity, try and see where you are. Keep reaching overhead and see if you can reach to the wheel pose. That's 2 hands on the floor behind you. Attention on your right leg. Flip over for side plank if you're able to. Carry your right leg through the downward dog and in front of you. See if you can keep it from touching the floor. Some of you, it's best to just let it rest on the floor, and that's fine too. Look up to the ceiling and breathe. If you're able to keep your foot in the air, you might tap it to the ground just 3 times. Finish the third one and keep it in the air, then high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Just a little bit of extra strength for the core. Raise your left leg into the air, bend your knee and flip the pose over. Steady breathing here, 2 feet on the floor. Let your feet feel like they're sinking down into the mat, but then also hugging inward into the arches of your feet. Once your feet get really anchored like that, reach up and overhead. You might look behind you, see if you can see the floor behind you. Now attention on your left leg. Float to side plank. Just float your left leg through. See if it can never touch the floor as it reaches out parallel to the short ends of your mat. So can you bring it even a little more up to your face? Then see if it's possible to take the 3 little taps to the floor. 1, that's it, Charlie. 2, 3, keep it in the air if you can, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Just use some strength that will give some stretch to next. Step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. In the back of your body, your back foot, you don't have to look back to know this. Feel where the weight is in your foot and bring some into your baby toe. Then palms face forward and take your arm bones back as far as you can behind your ears. Straighten your front leg, stretch your fingertips high up to the ceiling. Keep your arm bones behind your ears, cactus arms, lunge low. Try that a few times, keeping your arms behind the plane of your ears and working the shoulder blades on your back. Another time, then come down low in the lunge, hands to prayer position and twist. Left elbow to your right knee. Keep breathing in steady here. Now, a lot of times when we take this twist, I watch the room and there's a lot of curling around. Press your back heel back and reach your head to the front of your mat. Then shoulders to your ears and to your back body, but put attention on your bottom arm while you do that. Keep your bottom arm pressing into your thigh. Yes, and you'll feel your whole back right rib area opening up as you breathe. 2 more breaths. A lot of good form here. Stay for 1 more. Stay for the whole exhale. Come up to the crescent lunge. Open to warrior 2. Point your front knee and your toes in front of you. Turn your back toes angled in and lunge down low. You can walk your feet a little further apart for a lot of people. Then take your shoulders to your ears to the back of your body and turn your palms to face up. Keep on breathing. Reach from your pinky finger across your chest to your pinky finger. And for a lot of us then, we need to add a little strength in the pit of the belly and lunge down deeper. even to watch for the back hip. Instead of letting it press forward, collect it back in. Pull your back hip in a little more. That's it. Keep stretching your arms and tilt for extended side angle. So you reach for the floor and for the ceiling. Keep feeling the stretch from pinky through chest to pinky. Once you get down low in your lunge, you can wrap your top arm around behind your back, all the way behind, then reach on the inner thigh side of your front leg. Hold hands with your other hand behind your right hip rather than between the cheeks. Once you've got the hand hold behind your hip, open your chest to the ceiling. You'll press your hip in under your body. Wherever you are, shoulders to your ears, to the back of your body, and open your chest. Lunge deeper, Jenna. Chest up to the ceiling, hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog, and just feel how it is in your body. You'll notice that there's a lot of one side's done this, the other side hasn't done this. It shows you how far you'll come with attention in the arising moment, breath by breath, body part by body part, creating health and well-being in your body. Now next, step your left foot forward to crescent lunge. Arms overhead. The whole of the ball of your back foot. So the common default is that your heel is dropping into your center line and you're mostly on your big toe knuckle. Bring weight over into your baby toe knuckle. It'll square your hips to the front of the room. So heel to the side and now lunge there, Kathy. Yep. Palms face forward. Inhale, straighten your front leg, stretch up. Arm bones behind your ears. Cactus arms lunge. Keep on going. Straight legs, lunging legs. See if what you can do is have this quality of just flossing the musculature in your upper back. Take one more. Deep lunge, hands to prayer and twist. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. Now, if you bring your elbow to your knee and what you do is you kind of just relax there and hang out, press into it so that you can pull your hip back and stretch your chest forward. So these 2 points, hip crease to chest, are pulling apart. Hip crease to chest, pulling apart. Good. So open this space up. Yes. Feel the difference? Yep. Keep doing that. Take yourself into the edge of the pose and then gather up the pit of your belly. There you go. Now hold that. 3 breaths. You can even pull your chin into your neck and lengthen your back neck. 2 more. More belly. Last one. There you have it. Crescent lunge, reach up. Really good. Was that different? Warrior 2. Open up. Warrior 2, lunge down low. Get your feet first, your foundation. Front foot pointing forward. I know for me, I tend to flare my toes wider than my knee. Not good for your knee, so I have to always correct that. Back toes turning inward and lunge deep. Now palms flip up. Get the widening across your chest. Widening without just throwing your belly out, just widening. I always feel that in my shoulders, through my biceps, my elbows. Got that in your arms. Keep it in tilt for extended side angle. So you'll reach for the floor, reach for the ceiling. Keep your arms stretching apart. That's it, Tyler. Keep bending your front knee if you can. More and a little bit more. You may be at the edge. Kathy, bend your knee if you can also a little bit more. And for everyone, attention more to the ceiling now, less to the floor. Top arm behind your back. Perhaps reach underneath your front inner thigh and hold hands behind your front hip. Now press your hands into your hip, but lift your chest. That's it, Caitlin. Inhale, lift your chest off your front thigh, turn it to the ceiling. 2 more full breaths. Just concentrate on full breathing. What's possible in this last arising moment? Hands to the floor for chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, and feel how it is for you. How is it in your body? Maybe that was a lot of work. That vitality sequence of poses I often found were a lot of work for a long time in my practice until I started to understand how to regulate, different from being a switch that goes just on and off, working hard, not working at all, to dialing it down, using my breath to like lower the output and be ready for what's next. Take a breath in. Have a sigh, look forward, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Now we'll take chair twists. So sit back, get your hips reaching back, Hands to prayer, twist, left elbow to your right knee. Now, if we know this about twist, you want to reach back and keep your hips like they're sitting on a wall. And then stretch your whole spine long and add the rotation. Sit really deep. Stretch your whole spine long. Inhale and exhale, twist. Keep stretching your left side long. Breathe in and exhale, twist. A little pressure from your elbow to your thigh will help. Stretch your back left side long. Now in the pose, a sigh. Let something get a little easier. Reach up to chair. Forward fold. Feet open, hip width distance, and hook your big toes. Just stretch your chest down to your toes. Yesterday morning, I was teaching the 7 a.m. class, and I'd ask them, well, what do you guys want to do? And somebody said hips. And I think she thought we'd just stretch hips. We did do that, but we also strengthened hips. Oh, Ryan, you were not there. You were there. It was great, right? Sometimes we can get to the point where we think yoga is just stretching, but it's a lot of strength and in kind of odd little specific spots of the body. So let's give ourselves this. Keep holding on to your right foot's big toe. Put your left fingertips on the floor under your left shoulder. Bring weight into your left foot and lift your right leg. If it'll lift, up to the side. You may just be shifting your weight. That's all I could do the first time somebody ever asked me to do this. Holding your toes, lift your right foot to the side. I know it's a crazy thing. Your left fingertips could be on a block. That might be a little bit more accessible for you. It won't necessarily mean you can lift your foot though. So Isaiah's on his third class, and he's got this yoga body that wants to do something more. If yours is like Isaiah's and it wants something more, you keep your foot lifted to the side, and you can lift your left arm to the side like you're a crazy kind of bird. This is part of a very advanced yoga pose. Lift your arm to the side, lift your leg to the side, you've got it, and then everything to the floor and shake it out. That's how more advanced poses come. They arise out of the principles being applied to the foundational poses. Let's do the other side. It might be different than the first side. So now your right hand can go on the block or floor. Left hand can hold your left big toe. Lift your left foot up to the side. If it gives you more encouragement about the pose, that muscle you feel working, the muscle group on the side of your hip, it's an important muscle group. It's what has you able to stand upright and be balanced. Stay here, keep breathing, lift your leg as high as it will go, and if it's possible, you could also lift your right arm. So your two arms in time become both parallel to the floor. That's it, Aaron. Now just lift up, chest up, shoulders up to this. Yes, Jenna. Yep, Sue, you got it. Everything on the floor, shake it out. You want something new? You got something new. Suzanne's like, I didn't ask for that. Chair twist, sit back. Hands to prayer. Now twist the other way. This is right elbow to left knee. You want to sit both of your hips really back. The other thing you can double check in is that your two knees are evenly bending. Yeah, you got it, Kathy. So you see what there is. Now what to do about it. Take your twist. Pull your left knee forward and right hip back. You got it. Now stretch into your right side body. Yes, your back right side body is where the magic's happening in this pose. Breathe into it. Stretch it long and twist. Two more. Stretch it long and twist. Last one. Long and twist. Reach up to the chair pose and forward fold. Gorilla pose. Palms under your feet. Stand on your hands. This is a place to dial down the physical intensity, and in doing that, bring in restoration or a sense of just being recovered. How will you do that? Press your big toes into the ground and let your whole lower back just melt open more broad. While you let your lower back become more broad, let your spine become very long from the tail to the crown. And then release your hands, put your fingertips on the floor under your shoulders. Now, what was true about the side leg lifts when we held our toes was that our big toes stayed in one line. We didn't lift a foot kind of behind us. Now, fingertips on the floor or blocks, weight in your left foot. Lift your right foot up and keep your big toes in one line. Can you lift your left arm? Yeah. Can you lift both arms? Yeah. Could you lift that leg up parallel to the floor? Maybe. I can't really show you that. Now watch that your right foot doesn't trail behind you. It's straight over there to the side. Like we did when we flipped our flip dog to our side plank. It's straight over to the side. That's a little tricky. Straight over to the side. Yes, you're getting it, Tina, there. You got it, Suzanne. Now open your chest, like hips behind you, butt behind you. Yes. Fold down and hang. We go for it in our bodies. We're like, I don't know how to get that muscle. Let me get it from my lower back and my shoulders. So it's just learning where your body is in space. Sue, nice. Ready for the other side? You guys are like, no, that's not. But there's another side to do. So come on down and just check it out bit by bit and see what's available. Hands on the floor, weight in your right foot. If you prefer to hold your left foot's toes, go ahead and do that. Lift your left foot up. So I can only lift it so high. Some can lift it maybe all the way to the whole way parallel to the floor. Be careful of the gradually creeping behind you foot. See if maybe one arm reaches to the side. Right arm's the easiest. Shoulder blades on your back. Yes. Reach your left arm to the left, but stay folded while you bring your shoulders up. No need to bring your hips up. Keep breathing. Reach to the sides. Don't tuck your butt under you. That's you using your lower back here. Yes. I'll go like this. Yeah. 3 more breaths if you can. Hips back, chest forward, head forward. That's it. Last breath. Fold and hang. I know, it's just new spots. Shift your weight maybe from side to side. Let's go for a goddess squat because it's well-deserved at this point. Toe heel your feet open wide, elbows between your knees, press in. Some of you, your heels will be up. Some you'll sit on a block. And then just shift your weight onto one side. Just breathe and let that be heavier in that hip. Shift your weight to the other side. Just let your hips kind of open. And then snuggle down in lower so your knees are near your armpits. Open your hands and set them as wide as your mat and then tilt forward. Squeeze the mat with your fingertips. This might be enough. Squeeze your knees into your side arms. And then see if you can lift your feet for this wide-based crow pose. Get into it for 3 breaths now. Breathe in, press the floor, lift your chest, breathe out. 2 more, inhale and exhale. Now listen here. Keep your right knee on your right arm. Chest forward, left leg back to chaturanga. Step it. Now other foot, step it. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice work. Check your body out. How is it? Some of you are craving a child's pose. Some find it the relief in the downward dog, and all of it works. Let's get ready to move. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, look forward, jump to the front of your mat. Half lift, forward fold. Come all the way up, standing and sweep your arms overhead. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your right arm under, squat, bring your right leg over your left. Breathe here. Now breathe, bring breath into the room. At times we discover there's not so much breath and we need to recover that. Can you hear yourself breathing and feel yourself breathing? And then the people around you. Step out, left side, left arm under, left leg over. Bring your elbows up a little higher and push your fingertips away from you. And when you get that extra bit of tension or stretch, then sink your arm bones to the back of your body. You'll feel your chest start to lift up between your arm bones. You'll feel the back of your neck get a little bit longer. Keep all of that, step out, arms overhead. We'll take the right side, right arm under, right leg over. Once you've got your right leg over, we're going to use our same body, same kind of family of movement that we had when we were doing all this lifting. Now, if it starts to hang, it's not what we're looking for. So before we go anywhere, shoulders to your ears, to the back of your body, so you can feel the front of your spine long. Then keep your bound legs and hinge, long spine. So now butt reaching back, press your elbows against your knees so that you can move your chest toward your fingertips. Chin into your neck so the back of your neck gets long. So rather than this being kind of a humped over mushroomy looking pose, it's long and lean. Maybe you can imagine a palm on the back of your skull and you're just pressing your skull up into that hand. Give me more head into my hand, Erin, by bringing your chest forward to your fingertips. Yeah, okay, step out, unwind, step out. Other side, left arm under, left leg over. Left arm under, squat, left leg over. Shoulders up to your ears, move your arm bones to the back of your body. Now, the back of between your shoulder blades, let that sink into your body. Yeah, Tracy, lift it up to your chest. And now you can hinge. You'll be reaching your hips behind you like they're going to try to sit on the wall behind you. If your toes come to the ground, no big deal. Squat a little deeper. See if you can get your elbows to your knee. Now, you might not today, and that's okay. If they do reach, put some pressure between the knee and the elbows. Chest. Let it sink to the ground while your arm bones come up to the ceiling. Can you bring your shoulder blades up into my hands? Yep, chest forward now. Press, elbows to knees. Keep doing that. You've got it. Chest more forward. 5 more breaths. Back here long too. Press up into my fingers. 2 more. Just see how it is. Step out. Arms overhead. That's it, John. Arms overhead. Hug your right knee into your chest. Your left foot, stand with it if it's on a line, heel behind your middle toe. Try not to compromise that. Bring your right knee into your chest and stand tall. Then with your hand or a strap, hold your right foot and extend your knee forward. Now, if you don't find you can make this reach, use a strap so you do have a connection to your foot. There's extra straps are right in the bigger basket over here. When you're holding your foot, whether it's strap or hand, you then get access to all the opening in the back of the right shoulder blade. Retract your right arm bone as much as possible and stand tall through the crown of your head. Then see what you feel in your body. Couple more breaths. On this last breath, on the exhale, ease your toes a little higher. Then open your leg to the right and look and reach to the left. Here's an opportunity, even with body parts going to the side, like we felt going into the side here, now we're just standing, it's a little easier. Press and sink your standing foot down so that from your heel up to the center of your chest, you feel your body moving in opposite directions. Center of your chest up, heel down. You got it. That's it. Soften your toes if you can. Make your toes a little softer. Yeah. Bring your leg forward. Switch hands on your leg. Switch hands. So you might have the strap, you might have your foot. Switch hands and press the heel away from you while you suck your hip back. And then open up, dancing Shiva. This side of the hip that we used so much in the lifting, now we get a stretching. You'll want to sink your standing heel down so the center of your shoulder blade area can lift up through your chest and up. That's it. Come forward, hug your knee into your chest. We'll take airplane pose. Open up. Whole body opening up. So sometimes it's not that we necessarily decrease the physicality, but we change it. So parts that we're working really hard in this pose, though this pose is a lot of work, we get some relief. In the arising moment of this pose, that's its potential, its possibility, what's available to you. It might be that a part of you that's been working gets to relax. For everybody, shoulder blades to the ceiling. Center of the chest, just like that, Sue. Now hands to prayer. Keep your broad chest. Half moon. Left fingertips to the floor. Right arm to the ceiling. Stretch it open. Breathe. Stay with this. Stay right in the moment. You got this in the moment. But if you hold all moments, then maybe this moment's too much. Moment by moment, you breathe. If you flex your lifted foot, you'll get a little more access to it. Maybe look up to the ceiling. Breathe. That's it, Erin. Keep working with it. One more breath. Forward fold and hang. Sway from side to side. There's an arising possibility in this moment too. If you want your strap, grab your strap and come on up to standing and hug your left knee into your chest. Left hand, left foot. The moment might not be what you planned or expected, but it is always going to be what it is. And inside of it, there is always a possibility. That's kind of a lot that I just said right there. Right inside of this moment, whether it's how you plan for it to be or not, there is a possibility by breathing and being present to it. There's always something else. Standing foot, sink it down. To opposite, lift your chest up. See what's in that space. Open your leg to the left, stay steady, keep breathing and be right in this moment and breathe. Standing foot, sink it down so the center of your chest lifts. And if you've fallen out, just come back in and breathe. Now stay steady with your breathing. Bring your leg forward, switch hands on your leg. Stay with it. You could stay with it here. Look and reach to the back. What's possible if you stay? You got it. Keep breathing. That's it, Charlie. Let your hip crease deepen. Let the whole side of your leg open. Stay for a breath. Leg a little higher if you can, Caitlin, even if it means softening your knee. Chest a little higher. Yes, like that. Another breath. Reach. Press from the center. Come forward. Hug your knee into your chest. Airplane pose. You get this relief. Airplane pose. An opportunity for relief, actually. You might want to take your arms behind you and interlace your hands to create a bind. It will help to open the chest more. Actually bring you into a neutral, not really take you into a back bend so much. Breathe. Chest up. Let your big toe of your standing foot sink down into the ground. The big toe of your lifting foot like it's sinking into the wall behind you. Now hands to prayer. Press them. Steady your whole nervous system. Half moon, right hand down, left arm up. Stay with your breathing. What would happen if you stay? A lot of times it's hard to keep our presence through each one of these poses and transitions. And so we just drop out because we just want to break. What happens if you stay? Physically, yes, sometimes you do fall out, but usually it's because your presence went away. Reach to the edges of the pose. Stay with your breathing. Reach to the edges. Fingers, toes, reach. Keep breathing. You've got this. Nice. One more breath and fold. Stand right here and sway from side to side. It is all an exercise of your breath for access to the present moment, where inside of the present arising moment, there is a possibility. Come on up to standing. We'll take this standing bow and then we'll do dancers. So right arm bone behind you, open your forearm, hold your ankle from the inside. Left arm overhead. Let's do palm facing in. Then stretch forward and kick back. Palm facing in so you can get the opposition of your back inner knee hugging to a center line. Your palm hugging to a center line. Keep breathing. So just like you're hugging against an inner wall, hug with your front forearm and palm. Hug with your back inside knee. Press in like it's pressing against a wall. Get to the edge of the pose. Then kick down into the ground and up into the ceiling. Stay with it. Stay with it. 5 more breaths. Stay with it and breathe. Little softness if you can to your standing knee, John, just into your big toe stand. Right into your big toe. Finish your 5th breath and come on out. Now you might just want to stand here and swish your hips from side to side, a little figure 8 with your hips. Just let your whole system settle. Let's do the left side. Left arm bone back, forearm open, hold your ankle from the inside, right arm in the air. Now don't do this to be finished this. Do this to be in the experience of it. That's different, right? Start to kick and stretch. You start with your knee going straight behind you. That's it. Kick and stretch. Tyler, let's switch your grip. Feel how your shoulders like this. Let go and open it to this. Keep going open. Got it. Nope. Keep spinning. Yes. Take it inside like this. Feel your shoulder difference? Yeah. And if it doesn't quite go there, you can be here. Try that out. See what works for you. Yes, just like that. Settle into the big toe mound of your standing foot. It'll bring a micro bend into the back of your standing knee. And then if you can, imagine the inside of your kicking knee pressing into the center line. Just a little pressure if you can, John. Yes, keep pressing in. You got it. You have a little more gas in the tank there. Okay, now into the edge. Where are you going? 5 more breaths. Stay with it. 4 more breaths. Reach and kick. Suzanne, if you can, look up a little bit. Right there. Last breath. Nice. Come on out. Very good. Feet on the floor. Choices now. You'll need a strap for one of these choices, and that will be dancer's pose. Other choice is standing bow, but switching your hand grip. So if you typically hold your foot or ankle, hold your shin. Otherwise, the strap's going around your right ankle and keep your foot flexed. You want the strap to be short. So I don't want to be able to just get here with no effort. I want to have to kick a little bit, bring my elbows into my waist. That's going to be weird and awkward, and kind of just collect myself, let my upper back relax. And then sink my arm bones into the center of my upper back, elbows to the side, chest really open. Then kick and drag my arms back. Otherwise, hold your shin a little lower than you typically do for the standing bow, and see if you can drive your foot a little higher than you normally do. Got a lot of choices there, actually. Work with the pose from the space that we've been bringing forward of the arising possibility, the potentia, the potential of the space of the pose. What's available for you right here? It's not what you planned on. It's not what you expected. It's something you discover. Getting access to living a life moment by moment where you're discovering what's possible, it's like a superpower. Drive your foot up if it's available to you. You could hold on your shin next time, Ryan. You have access to that. One more breath. Come on out, feet on the floor, and come to a neutral space, like a blank slate. We'll do the second set of this second side. Set it up. Maybe take a sigh if you find like your mind has got you somewhere else or different place, even in the practice or your expectations. Let it go. See what you can come into. Now hold down low there, Ryan. And drive your foot up. A little softness to your standing knee because you'll get access to the pose in ways you never have before. Right into the big toe. Otherwise, you end up with the pose developing in a lopsided way and you don't get access to the full potential. Kick, Charlie, and lift your chest. So chest opposite of your foot. One more breath. Okay, come on out. You did some good work there. Maybe hands over your heart, feet set wide. If you want your eyes closed, they could be closed. Just take a moment to feel how it is in your body. It's not what is so, it's just what seems so to you. Get present with what's actually happening. And take a sigh. We'll do tree pose. So left foot on the ground, sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh, interlace your palms and press them forward. Get the stretching on the whole outer part of your forearm, and then take your arms overhead. While your standing foot and its big toe and heel sink down, opposite, you lift the center of your chest and maybe your gaze. If you sink your foot down enough and scoop your arch into the center line, you might be able to lift your head up and take a back bend. So not a back bend because you want it, but a back bend because it's the result of the foundation you created. Yep, a back bend as a result of the foundation from your foot to your core. That's the lifting of the front of the pelvis, up and back. Lift your gaze, Caitlin, and lift your chest. You have it. Look to the ceiling and lift. Yes. Yep, lift your chest by sinking your foot. Step out of the pose. Switch sides. Right foot on the mat, left foot to your right inner thigh. Now, when I interlace my fingers, always automatically my right baby finger's on the outside of my left. Switch it. Interlace the awkward way. Press your palms forward. Take your arms overhead. That connection might feel a little like restrictive for some of you, and it's access to new opening later. Could be an access to a new opening right now. For some, it may be necessary to squeeze your shoulders to your ears and move them to the back of your body. Now get some attention to your felt sense of your standing foot, of your foundation. Let it sink down and hug into the arch side of your foot. When that happens, you'll be able to lift your chest, to lift the front of your pelvis. That's it. Keep lifting, Charlie. Look up now. Keep your foot sinking and lift your chest to the ceiling. Nice. Lift the front of your pelvis. Breathe and stretch all the way up through the sides of your ribs and step out. Come to the front of your mat and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Lift, stretch all of your abdominal stretching. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle, step it forward. Make a long foundation. Take your triangle pose. Right fingertips on the floor behind your right ankle. They could be on a block. Then you could stay right here or wrap your top arm around behind your back. It'll land behind your right hip. You could fully bind this pose by reaching underneath of your front inner thigh and holding hands behind your right hip, so not between the cheeks. You'll probably be a little bit decomposed in the pose like this, leaning forward now. So anchor your feet, press your front leg straight and turn your chest to the ceiling. Your chest will become anchored over your front leg. A little more straight front leg if you can, Caitlin. You could take a longer stride next time. Come on out of the pose. All the way up to standing. Face the long left side of your mat. Hands to your hips. Lift your chest. Forward fold. When you get into the fold, hook your big toes and stretch your chest to the ground. Your elbows, they can just point up to the ceiling and drop away from your thighs. Let your head hang. You might even want to shake it out. You might find you have access to realizing some of the vertebrae through the center part of your thoracic spine, they start to open a little bit. Another breath. Come up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat. Standing, single leg, forward fold. Put your hands in prayer position behind your back. Now, if they don't quite land in this prayer position, you fold your arms, one palm over the other, but keep your elbows back. And then forward fold all the way down. Sugo longer. Little softness in your front knee. Just the front one. Yep. Nice. That's it, David. Good. Breathe here. Keep driving your right hip back, Adam and everyone else, to the back of your mat. Keep your prayer hands, and we'll add just that gentle little bit of twist. So you won't go far. Keep your prayer hands behind your back. Stay in this fold, and then just bring a little rotation to the right. You'll want to flare your arms and shoulders behind you. You'll probably get a lot of sensation in your back left rib cage. Do you feel that? Good. Another breath. Feel that, Angie? Good. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Now, once you get to your downward dog and you stretch back and you feel how it is in your body from side to side, left foot forward for triangle pose. Take the pose, foot on the ground, open your body up. See what you've gotten yourself into here. You want your front foot's big toe anchoring, little softness to the knee. You can take your top arm behind your back. You can reach your front arm inside from this side. Let me have it through behind your left hip. You got it. Now straighten that leg. See what you can do though, because your hamstrings are going to be a little tight. And open your chest over your leg. You can bring your chin to your bottom or your top shoulder. You got it. Keep sinking deep in that hip crease. Yep. See if your leg will straighten. A lot of inner thigh opening. Open up here. I'm not going to force you anywhere. This is just the direction. Come on up to standing. Nice. Turn to face the long right side of your mat. Hands behind your back. Interlace them. Chest up high. Forward fold. All the way over into your fold. Spill your bound hands overhead and breathe. You could be holding on to a strap, especially if your hands don't spill anywhere. The flexible people, we're building stability. So soft knees. Give your knees a little softening, Isaiah. Yeah. Going to give you a strap between your hands, Tyler. Let your hands fall overhead as much as they will. Now breathe. Breathe and add some ease to your body. Long spine. Breathe into your back. Breathe into these back lower ribs. See if without forcing, so not using your muscles, just breathing and hanging, you get a little bit more length right into those spinal joints in your rib cage area. Then come up to standing, turn to face the front of your mat, hands behind you in the reverse prayer. I know if I give options, nobody's going to take the reverse prayer. I probably wouldn't. And though, you can feel there's a lot to get here. Forward fold and press your palms together. When you press your palms, it's going to open your chest and take the wings of your arms behind you. Fold. Go a little longer, so. That's it, Caitlin. Good. Jenna, back legs strong and straight if you can. Yep. Breathe. That's it, David. Good. Suzanne. Good. That's it, Kathy. Open to the wings, your shoulders on your back. Press your palms if you can, as much as possible. Then take the twist. It won't be much. You're twisting to the left. Press your palms together. Good. Can you feel this opening your back right body, Kathy? Good. Press your palms together as much as they go. Arm bones go on your back. Yep, it doesn't matter about the twist being far. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Can you feel that? Forward fold, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Now come to your high plank or all the way down to your belly on the mat. Once you're on your belly, we'll do toenails on the ground. Then forehead on the ground. I'm not going to put mine on the ground so you can hear me talking. Fingertips behind your head right now. Rest your elbows on the ground. So you're relaxing, forehead down, fingertips on the back of your head lightly. So not pressing in. Your head can press into your fingers in a minute, but not your fingers into your head. And press even your baby toe knuckles on the ground. Now breathe in, and as you breathe out, suck the pit of your belly into your body. You'll make it so that there's space for your hands to reach under your pelvis in the front. Stay here with this. Now what's next? Inhale, lift your elbows to the ceiling, lift your gaze. Keep your neck long. Now take your arms around behind you, palms face up, back of the hand to your pelvis. We're going to reverse that. You can take a rest for a second. Now the reverse. Elbows up, hands behind and high as they go. Keep them as high as they go. Bring them around, reach forward, fingertips to your head, elbows high, and relax it all down. Now I'll just talk you through it. Fingertips on the back of your head, forehead down. Lift your elbows high to the ceiling. Lift your head and lift your chest. Now reach your arms in front of you, palms to the ground. Take them around behind you. Flip your palms, back of the hand on the pelvis, elbows to the ceiling. Relax down. Ready to come around again? Lift your elbows and your head. Reach behind you, palms face up. Keep your arms as high as you can. Circle them around. Palms to the floor, back of the hand to the ceiling. Fingertips to the head, elbows to the ceiling. Relax down. How do you like that one? Floor bow, bend your knees, reach back and hold your ankles. All the way back, shoulders back. You can do one side at a time if that's best, but knees only hip width distance. You want to really flex your feet. Then kick your feet into your hands. Try to surrender with your shoulders and your arms. Just hang on with your hands. Kick back and up. So you've got the one side at a time version or the 2 sides at the same time. In the pose, take a sigh. And after the sigh, kick back and kick up. All the way back and up as high as it goes and come on down. Feet then go side to side. We'll do the second side or the second set. Reach back and hold your ankles. Kick back and kick up. Knees only hip width distance. When we get together like this and we practice, what we have access to is a sum that's greater than the whole of the parts. It's why birds fly together in a flock. They're more strong. They can go further. When you're here together on the floor and you're breathing together, even if you're here together, though, at home and breathing together, we have access to something else. Kick back and kick up. 3 more breaths. 2 more if you're with it. Come on down. Feet side to side. Put your hands on the floor so only your thumb is still on the mat beside your bottom ribs. So set them up wide. And then roll your shoulders to your ears and to the back. You'll feel your elbows pointing more to the back. Then chest through your arms and lift to upward dog. Shoulders on your back, on your back, on your back, on your back. Just keep lifting the pit of your belly up to your chin so you feel all of these abdominal muscles stretch. If you're kind of sinking, you feel it cramping in your lower back, more abdominal strength. Another breath, keep your shoulders on your back, downward facing dog. Good, stretch back, bend and straighten. We'll take camel pose, bring your knees to the floor. Hip width distance, toes turned under, hands like they're in back pockets, slide them in the back pockets so you're just pressing the back of your pelvis down, lifting the front of your pelvis up, stretch up. Actually, let's do this. Let's add this to it. Grab your block. So you've got that setup that we just did where you're lifting the front of your pelvis. So not this, belly forward, butt back. We want the lift and then press into your block. You can keep your toes turned under. You can work with your toes straight. You decide what's best for you. Now lean back as far as it goes for you without breaking the straightness and come up. Do that 5 times. Come back as far as you go. Press the block, press it and come up. You have 4 more of those. Press the block, lean, hold it, and come up. So just palms, not hands gripping, palms. Lean back. You're using it to help you hug to your center line. Hold that long and lean and come up. How many more do we have? 2 more. Whole body, knees to head, long and lean back. Hold it for 3, 2. Okay, come up. That's not so easy, is it? We have 1 more. Lean back. Hold it for 3, 2, more pit of the belly, 1. Come on up. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Just bringing you a little bit more stability, particularly in your pelvis. Okay, let's jump through, sit down, and roll onto your back for bridge pose. There are worlds to discover in the poses that you become familiar about your body with. And in those worlds of discovery, you create health and well-being for yourself physically and emotionally. So press down on your feet and rise up with your hips. Get your shoulders tucked under your body and deep under your body. See how high you can rise up. And then bend your elbows and really purposefully point your fingertips to the ceiling. Now breathe before we go anywhere. Let your feet sink down into the mat and hug the arches of your feet more inward, just energetically. Now, if you have access, place your palms on the sides of the bones of your pelvis and squeeze in, wrap in. While you're wrapping in, just let the back of your pelvis broaden. You've got it. A few more breaths so that just sinks in. You can see Sue's got her hands right here on the side of the ASIS, if you're familiar with that. It's like the front pointy bits of your pelvis, the bones of your pelvis. Come on down, all the way down, knees side to side. Now we're looking to discover something here. Let's take a second set up into your bridge. A lot of times in back bends, as you're a little newer with it, what we end up doing is squeezing our glutes and the big muscles of our lower back. Set your feet wide, almost as wide as your mat. So not toes turned out for sure if we're going to do this. Feet wide and very parallel to one another. Come on up. You got to let your big toes sink down and your arches hug in. Then bend your elbows, put your hands on the sides of these bones of your pelvis. Squeeze it in until you feel the front of your abdominals just melt together more. Till you feel the back of your body melt more broad and stay strong. Keep breathing here. You feel it, Tina, Angie? Yep. It's kind of different and weird, but also it works. Come on, feel it, Kathy? Come on down, knees side to side. How's that going at home, Adam? You feeling it? Okay, good. Okay, same setup, feet wide. Awesome, David, that's all good. Let's do the same. Come up into the bridge at first, feet really wide. Get the sense of the big toe side sinking down and hugging in. Get your shoulders stuck way under your body now. If you want to get a quick touch in with the squeeze of the pelvis, do that. And then from there, hands on the floor and set just as wide as your mat, elbows pointing to the ceiling, getting ready for the wheel, but with this setup. Hands on the floor, set them as wide as you can. Then press down and rise up. Hands set wide. Sink the thumb side of your hand into the mat. Sink the big toe side of your foot into the mat and hug in. Come on down, knee side to side. Is this blue one yours or ours? Can I trade you for a second? I want to match somebody else's block. Good. Come on down, knees side to side. Going to do a second set. Now, some things that you can use, tools in the space, are 2 matching sized blocks, either under your hands or under your feet. It takes the arc and makes it less pronounced, so you might have access to something bigger. I'm going to go with your feet here. You're going to might be like this. Don't kick them out. Okay, bridge pose first. Shoulders under your body, hands on the floor set wide. Press down into the floor, rise up into the wheel. You got it. Wide set hands, press down, rise up. That's it. Relax and soften your upper back. You have it. Breathe. Thumbs press down. Feet sink down. Thighs squeeze in. Back of the pelvis broad. Tuck your chin and come down. I'm seeing some really nice back bends here. Knees side to side. How'd that feel, Tyler? Kind of good, right? Okay, next one. Set it up. Hands, feet on the floor. Feet wide, hands wide. Press down, rise up. Set them a little wider, your hands, if you can, David. There you go. Nice. Good. Sink into your big toes. Knees that they're hugging in. Hug into my knees, David. Hug them in. Back, lower back, let it get broad. Tuck your chin and come on down. You might like some blocks under your feet. Can I take your block, Caitlin? Here you go. Next set. Set it up. Hands, feet on the floor. We're going for, moment by moment, a possibility of freedom, of space and openness. Set an intention for what is the possibility you're present to in this arising moment and set it up. Bridge pose into the wheel. Scoot in closer to your feet, David, if you can. Their whole upper body. Yes, hands wide, really wide, and go. Feet press down. There. You got it. Feet press down. Press your arm bones straight as they'll go. One more breath. Tuck your chin and come down. How'd that feel? Weird and good? Knees side to side. 2 more. You guys are getting somewhere. Let's do this. Set it up, press down, rise up. Intend that there is a revelation for you in your body in this pose right now. Hug Suzanne. Wrap this in and let the back of your pelvis broaden. Breathe here. Hug. Let your thumbs sink down into the ground. Let your big toes sink. Take a sigh. Let your whole back body be easy and come on down. How'd that feel? Knees side to side. Good. We got how many left to go? 1. Here we go. Last one. Press down and rise up. Be open to the possibility of something completely brand new happening in the pose. Steady, easy breathing. You might be just past your point too for some of you. Squeeze. Squeeze, Tracy. Squeeze, squeeze my knees, squeeze my knees, squeeze my knees. Good. Come on down. Supta Baddha Konasana. Well-earned rest for everyone. Soles of your feet together, knees open. Soles together, knees open. Our next set of movements are about stabilizing. A stable body comes from some really deep muscles. Your transverse abdominis is the deepest set of abdominal muscles that lives as deep down into your core as we can go. We're going to do a little bit of activating those muscles in the next few poses. For now, though, hug your knees into your chest. A lot of times when we go to work on abdominals, what we end up doing is squeezing our lower back. We get this kind of arcing going on. And all that happens is these muscles hang more forward and these get so tight and our body ends up in this perpetual kind of version of this pose. The lower back hurts. We start walking like, oh. We're going to do that a little differently today. Grab your blocks. You all have a block in the room. I know, Adam, you've got yours at home. Okay, good. Hug your knees into your chest and curl up so your forehead at first touches your knees. So you have this feeling of the whole back side of your torso kind of opening and releasing. Then from here, we'll start with this. Let's start with the block then between your hands. When I say between your hands, not holding on to it, palms, pressing, because it's helping you access your center line, your deep core strength. You feel that. It's kind of like settling when you do this. We're doing that, not holding on to a block. Then once you're curled up like this, you want to stay as long as you're in your back body as you can. We've practiced that a lot of different ways. We won't go into that right now. Now you should feel the entirety of your spine on the floor, and that should stay there. We're going to be tapping the heels to the ground. Some of you, it's not going to go the whole way to the ground. We don't want to lose this curled up body. So you have to keep the pit of your belly really anchoring, blow out and lift your knees up. If that's too far, if your back arches, we don't want that. So you have to keep the whole of your back on the ground. Maybe your heels touch, maybe they don't. 10 times you tap your heels, or in your imagination, they're touching the floor. Hug the block, belly curled, whole lower back on the ground. Do this 5 more times. You can do one side at a time if that gives you better access to ensuring that you don't ever let your lower back arch. Finish the last one. Hug your knees. How'd that go? Were you able to keep your lower back on the ground the whole time? Okay, here's our next one. If you have 2 blocks, put 1 block between your shins and flex your feet. So your legs will be in the air here. We're not going to hold the block by rolling our feet out. We're going to try to feel the inside of the shin bone holding the block. So the feet are very parallel. We'll all curl up and at first just reach. So we have the entirety of the whole spine on the ground. If you need to work with your legs a little soft, that's okay. Press into your block to keep access to your center line. It might be best to do it with straight arms so you really feel the center line. Now breathe in. As you exhale, lower your legs. Some of you might want to rest your head down or on a block because that's what your core is ready for. Others, you want it all. Lower a little further. Now you're going to have to really collect yourselves here. No lower back arching. If you've got any more, lower a little further. No lower back arching. Breathe for 5, 4. Keep the pit of your belly down. 3, 2, 1. Blow out. Legs up. How'd that go? Rest for a second. How'd that go? Were you able to keep your whole lower back on the ground? We're doing it 2 more times. Okay, get ready. Legs up in the air. Hug your block. Little softness if your hamstrings are asking for that. Squeeze in with your palms to the block you're holding. Breathe in. Lower a little bit. Breathe in. Lower a little bit further. Maybe a little bit further, but no arcing lower back. Hold. Good save there, Charlie. Breathe. 2 more. Last one. Legs up. That's it, Jenna. You got it. How'd that go? That is no joke, right? Let's do 1 more. I told you there'd be 2. Hey, breathe. You guys want to do different poses? We got to have some skills. Are you ready? Legs in the air. If you've got a block, hug the block. Remember, not toes out, toes squeeze in. Feel these inside shins hugging. Now, lower a little bit. You might find your body tremble. Sink your belly. Lower a little bit. You got it. Sink your belly. Maybe lower, maybe not. You might be there. Stay here. 5. Active feet. 4. Stay active. 3. Belly sinking. 2. And 1. Legs up. Hug your knees into your chest. This might be a bad welcome to your first class with us. We're not finished. We're going to do 1 more. Okay, now it's just a little test of your control of it all. You've got a sense of what it is, how to work with it, and strengthen it. Now we're doing the bicycles. We're going to keep pressing the hands into the block to just keep access to the center line. It helps us anchor the shoulders, lengthen the back of the spine, and really work into the deepest muscles. We'll come curled up, legs in a tabletop, and then we're just going side to side. Just side to side. That's not quite challenging enough. All right, let's not do that one. That's not going to be challenging enough. Come up and sit down and come up here. So we don't want this, right? You know that already. Pit of your belly in. You can do this with your feet on the ground, but ideally your feet in the air and hugging your block. If you're hugging a block, I'm going to say you can hug it right here between your thighs. I only have 1 though. Ready for here? And then we're just tiny little bit, rowing the boat, touching. When you get tired, you'll start to notice that you start going like this and doing it. See that arcing? We don't want that. Keep the pit of your belly back. Rest your heels on the ground when you get tired. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees and rock head to tail. Now I know that must be too much because Sweet Lena gave me the face. Rock head to tail several times, back and forth. Feel how it is in your body. I think Sue has a good idea. Hug your knees into your chest. Let's test it all. This is the last. You've done so much amazing work here. Seems like that wasn't me. Hug in here, and with your block, you could be also hugging the block right at the arches of your feet, long like this. We're hugging in here, so what we can do is pull the pit of the belly in, get the hollow, strong core, and thigh bones sinking down. Now, hands behind your thighs. Maybe tabletop, hold the block. I know for me, it's tempting to start going wide with my knees. Maybe you need the block at your knees. You might be good here. You might straighten your legs. Whoa. Hug with your arches. Maybe reach. Lift your chest 5. Keep lifting 4. You can hold your legs if you need. Chest up 3. Good 2. Hug and rock. That's so good. It's nice, right? Rocking through to downward facing dog. Stability. We'll move on. Downward facing dog. How's that at home, Adam? It's so good, right? Downward dog. Right side pigeon pose. Right leg forward. Completely at ease in your forward fold. Now, want from the bird's eye view that the 2 sides of your pelvis are level. If you discover that a block under your right hip gives you access to that, then sit the block under your hip and fold forward. Get a sense of how it all is for you here. And then come up and with your left hand, reach back for your left ankle or lasso it with a strap. And fold forward. So you're going to probably here need to add the blocks so you don't tip to the side. It's like magic, right? Magic, Tracy. Kathy, see if you can get up into the center of this just a touch more. I'll show you why. Feel that? A little different. There. Feel? Yeah. Now reach back with your left hand. And I take it like this and put your thumb right in where mine is. In that hollow. Pretty nails. Press that. It'll keep it square. This happening. Fold. Oh, hip flexor. Your knee, where does it hurt? Oh, that's okay. There's some hurt that's okay. Kathy, Kathy's like, that hurts. Ready for the other side? Step back, other side. You guys did a lot of really awesome stuff today. It's going to be fun to have some of these new skills to work on through the week in your classes. And then as they become more ingrained, they become more in your habit space, we'll add on. A block to support your left hip, right hand to reach back for your right foot. If you're so lucky that flexibility gives you some choice, if you can, when you reach back, thumb in the hollow of your ankle. I'll show you with Sue's. So she's going to take her arm all the way around and put her thumb on this inner hollow of her ankle and press that away as she folds. That's going to keep alignment in her pelvis, in her back leg. So she'll be right on top of the hip flexor and straight down through the quads. You put your thumb right in that hollow and press it out towards Suzanne. Lena, let's put a block under this hip. Yes, like that. Okay, sit on your left hip. So get the block out of the way. Sit on your left hip, swing your right leg around, and then roll onto your back. Now, you can roll your feet overhead to plow pose, but with the work that we did, if I were to choose, I'd ask for a waterfall and taking your block long, so there's space for each side of your pelvis on the block. So it can be any height you want, and legs straight up in the air. Now, what does straight up in the air mean? It means ankles over your hips. You don't have to have straight knees. That's got to do with hamstring flexibility. Ankles over your hips, you'll feel the lowest pit of your belly just gently kick in. So not like you're doing a sit-up, but you've got some tone, some work going there. Yeah, put your block under your hips there, Lena. And then what we get access to is that the weight of your legs just sinks down. You'll start feeling it get really easy when your feet sort of drift over your chest. Yeah, and when they're just straight up and down, there's some extra work. Yep, let your knees be soft, but your feet stay gently active. And then your thigh bones, they can just settle into the back of your pelvis. And as they settle into the back of your pelvis, you'll feel the weight of your thigh bones sink. So you want this sinking. And then the back of your pelvis just broadens because of the sinking weight of your thigh bones. You've done a lot of work so far this morning. Your hips might be tired. We've worked with your hips. Let me take these like this for a second. You can rest them on my shoulder and then sink that feeling. Steady breathing, a few more breaths. It's no small thing you do when you show up for your practice. Yes, you get great exercise. You're welcome. And though breath by breath, moment by moment, you get access to, whoops, sorry, I'm squirting you, the arising possibility that's available. I don't know what's possible for you. I could guess, but you best know what's possible. If you stay, you become curious. What some of the things that disappear are things that maybe, like, even in our prayers we say, I'd love to have relief in that area, but we don't necessarily know how to access the relief. Well, they go away, things like being hypercritical of yourself, really judgmental. All those things go away when you get access to the arising moment. Now, physically, there's less drawing your attention right now, but you've got more training on board from your practice today. Set your gaze. Open up curiosity. Hug your knees into your chest. Feet on the floor. Press down, remove the block, then take your time from your neck to your tailbone. Lower each bone of your spine so that you sit it down, stretch, and sit the next one down. So once you get your hips to the floor, your back is as long as possible. Drop your knees to the left and look to the right. Yoga is pretty fascinating. It's a several thousand-year-old, I believe we've hit 6,000-year-old practice. You got to wonder why it's lasted this long, because people weren't necessarily always seeking out an exercise regime. And that is part of what the results of the practice are. But some things had it endure for thousands of years. And I would guess that, among other things, it's the access we get to being able to come into the present moment, tap into the arising moment, switch sides, and live a life of possibility. So that's not necessarily a life that means it's absent of challenge. Absent of, like, say, things like fear or anger or sadness. That's all part of the human experience. But inside of the present moment, we experience those things as they're occurring. We have access to shaping the results of those experiences. Come back to the center, Supta Baddha Konasana. Feel how it is in your body right now. Set yourself up to have an experience of really being supported, your bones supported by the floor. In studio, you have a cold eye towel. You could use that as well as you get set up here. Get your shoulder blades on the ground, your spine stretched long, the back of your pelvis anchored on the floor. So there's a lot of freedom in your lower back. Once you get access to that, stretch your legs out long and wide. Arms go wide with your palms facing the ceiling. Once you get your bones on the floor, take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. When you're open to possibilities, that doesn't mean that you have a point you're going to reach, like say a goal, and the moment is about realizing the goal. Instead, it's about realizing what's so right now and working with that. Why would you want that? Because it enables you to work and deal with anything that shows up. Breathe in. Exhale and let your bones settle. While you're lying here, you might put your attention on the sensation of breath coming into your nostrils and back out. Begin to deepen your breathing. Wiggle and squeeze your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll your head from side to side. Then bring your knees into your chest and roll to your side. From there, you can bring yourself up into a sitting position. Once you get settled in a comfortable seat, in your next couple of breaths, do some inner listening for how it is in your experience and in your body right now. And from here, set an intention for the rest of your day. Then sweep your arms overhead and bring your hands to rest in prayer position. One more time, we'll chant together, creating the ending of our practice and the readiness for the rest of the day. Deep breath in. Thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead. Inhale and exhale. Namaste. Good work. A lot of times after our classes, our teachers will just send you a message to share what you worked on, a theme that you worked on. You're always welcome to write back to your teacher, ask them questions, answer the question they asked you. So look for that coming from your teachers in your email. Have a great rest of the day. Remember, this is our Move Free week, so sign up some people who are new to practice and bring them in with you. Bye, Adam. Have a great rest of the day.